Hi out there, YouTube.com. Nick Cicada here. A bit of a different topic today. I decided today I'm going to be roasting the fuck out of Instagram because it's a petulant clown website and it really gets on my nerves. I've never actually wanted to have an Instagram account, but I was pressured into getting an Instagram account because basically all the venues in Denver insist that like you have an Instagram account, and I'll say, hey, just email me. I don't like Instagram. The infrastructure seems really poorly designed. It seems like it's full of glitches and bugs. Yeah, because there's no way that they can keep the fucking shitstorm running 24 hours a day. I don't even want a fucking Instagram account. So anyway, I got stupid Instagram, and the first thing that happened was I get locked out of my account because the phone number I signed up with I don't have anymore or something, and it's impossible to get back in. Like, this app is so fucking broken that if you're on a PC it says use the app, and it's like, but I can't use the app, I don't have a phone. I used like someone else's cell phone to sign up for it, I think like 3 years ago. I don't have access to that phone number anymore. Oh, you're just fucked, you can't get back into your account. So I'm just like, what the fuck is this website? I know for a fact, YouTube, Google, Gmail, Google Docs, they don't work like Instagram. It's way easier to get into your Google account. Even if you've lost access to a phone number or something, there's a multitude of options for account recovery with Google. With Instagram, it's just like you're just locked out permanently. Clown website. This website does not know how to run itself. Anyway, once I got back onto Instagram, I decided I was going to try following some local stuff. I was going to try basically to follow as many local things as I could and make as many connections as I could, you know, see what was going on there. Because like every single fucking band, every single fucking musician, every single artist, they all use Instagram. I don't get it. I prefer to communicate using zines, but I guess some people prefer communicating using Instagram. And so I was like, okay, I'll see what's on here. I'll see what the deal is, what the hubbub is. I'll try and interact with it. So I did. I followed a great deal of accounts. I think I followed about 3,000 or something. Just because I was interested in checking out what Instagram had to offer. And I thought, hey, maybe some of these will follow me back, and maybe I'll get a big follower count. Maybe I can beat Tyler the Creator in terms of follower count on here. That wasn't going to happen because Instagram then accused me of using a click farm, even though I followed all these accounts manually, and I did it over the course of like a month. I don't use bots to inflate my follower count or anything, but they suspected automated behavior. So I was locked out of my account once again, and again, I don't have a phone number to recover this shit, so this time I was permanently locked out. And I was pretty pissed over this because I got into trouble of following like 3,000 people on this stupid fucking website. Like, does this website want engagement? Is it capable of discerning between organic human behavior and inauthentic bot behavior? It's not like I would never interact with any of these accounts. Some of them I was legitimately interested in and was kind of going through their pictures. Not all of them. Some of them I just kind of followed on a whim and thought, hey, maybe one day I'll get back to that. But all of them were local, they were all tangentially Denver related or something. And so I thought, hey, I'll follow all these accounts. Who gives a shit? So I really went gung-ho and I thought, Instagram wants me to interact with it? Fuck it, I'm gonna interact with it. Oh, you're banned now. Oh, you don't get to use this fucking app anymore. Well, good, I don't want to use this app. So after that, I made a recovery account. I tried making a recovery account, just a little modest thing, and I decided I'm not going to follow 3,000 people anymore. Just going to follow like 25, 50 that I know locally. I'm not going to try and game the system. I'm not going to try and take advantage of that. I'm not going to try and get followers by following a bunch of people. I'm just gonna hang loose and try and use it for just like shows and shit. Because really, you do need Instagram. Like, to get it booked for any show, you need Instagram to get any art or anything. It's like nobody uses fucking email. I prefer fucking email. You can't use email, go use Instagram. like when it gets shut down eventually because it's just so full of fucking glitches, or Facebook gets targeted by the federal government or whatever, I think all these people are just going to start having to learn to use fucking email because it's much more efficient at just like communication, file sharing, basic shit. You can't even post a link on Instagram. Links don't even work if you just like post them as plain text. It's so stupid. Anyway, on this recovery account, I decided I would be kind of a little more vulnerable, a little more, kind of low-key, and I decided I would post a funny asexual meme, because I happen to be asexual, meaning that I don't experience sexual attraction towards anyone or anything. And my friends on the app post trans-themed memes all fucking day till the cows come home. There are so many trans memes that are supposed to be relatable. I don't personally relate to them because I'm not trans, I'm cis. But these memes are meant to provide some comfort and laughs to the trans community and say, here's this funny, relatable trans experience. Hey, bottom surgery tomorrow, estrogen infusion this week, and that's cool, and I like seeing those. They're pretty fun. And so I decided I'm gonna make an asexual meme. So I took this picture I have on my camera of me kind of looking vacant and kind of sad, and I said, that feeling when you'll never feel love again, or something along those lines. I forget what the exact caption was, but it's meant to be like a funny, kind of tongue-in-cheek, self-aware type joke that kind of pokes fun at my situation, but also could be extremely relatable and helpful to fellow asexuals like myself, because I think this is probably a situation that a lot of asexuals go through. Even though I don't know any asexuals personally, I hope to maybe reach out via Instagram, via some sort of social media, to find a fellow asexual to be friends with, because it's kind of lonely being the only one of one sexual orientation in a given population center like Denver. So I thought, hey, maybe if I post this meme, someone will relate to it and they'll want to be pals. So I thought that was pretty cool. I post my asexual meme. Now this is where it gets serious, and I don't want to mince words here because this is an extremely serious part of the story. Someone I know in the local music community, I won't name names, but I considered them somewhat of a friend, and this is very disappointing and saddening. But they, out of the blue, private messaged me on this fucking clown app, and they were like, oh, you're transphobic, and also you're a pedophile too, because coincidentally on your old account, the one where I followed a bunch of people just to try and see what happened, apparently I had accidentally followed some of those Russian porn bots or mail order brides or whatever the fuck they are, the ones with the fake profile pictures, fake bios. And also apparently on my old Instagram account where I followed 3,000 people without really thinking about it, I just went click, 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 click. It was a very automatic process. Apparently I had followed some potential sex workers, some prostitutes, some girls who sell their bodies for money. And apparently this was perverse or something, because some local girls, I know, crazy, right? Some of them sell sex in exchange for money. To this person accusing me of being a transphobe, a bigot, a pervert of some kind, that was inexcusable. And it was proof that I'm not actually asexual or something, just because some girls I happen to know sell their bodies for money, as if that's some kind of horrible moral transgression. Now weirdly, even though I'm asexual, and I don't understand what sex is or why anyone has it, I fault prostitutes the least of all. I think prostitutes are an honorable bunch. There's never been a prostitute I've met that I thought was a loser or anything. I think they're all very cool, well-adjusted people for the most part. You kind of have to be. But the thing I like about prostitution is they're selling their body as a means to an end. It's not real sex. And I think to have real sex, to actually commit to the bit and convince yourself that this other person you're with is beautiful, that there is such a thing as true love's kiss or whatever, I think that's all a load of hokey bullshit. But I think if you sell your body for money, I honestly think that's pretty cool and resourceful, And I'm like, go get the bread, girl. I think that's awesome. But ultimately, the anti-sex worker stigma in our culture is just an outgrowth of misogyny, and it's disgusting. And this person trying to accuse me of being some kind of perverse sex freak or something just because I happen to know some prostitutes or accidentally followed some Russian mail order bride thing when I was literally following 3,000 random accounts because I wasn't paying attention. And I would have gone back into my old account and unfollowed that if I'd known I had accidentally followed a fake account, because I don't want to do that any more than the next guy. Apparently, just because I acknowledge the existence of sex in my asexual meme, just because I'm willing to acknowledge that sexual intercourse does in fact exist, and just because I happen to intermingle a bit with people who maybe sell their bodies for money, that makes me some kind of disgusting pervert, I suppose, in the LGBT community here in Denver. Because this person, get this, who is accusing me of being a pervert is a purported member of the LGBTQ plus community, even though I am also a member of said community, being asexual. And I'm a lot more vulnerable out here, considering I seem to literally be the only one of my demographic. Anyway, the main evidence for my perversion was that I go to all ages shows, which there happen to be a lot of here in Denver, and I think they're great because they're able to expose people of all ages to music and culture, which I think is a very important cause. It's very admirable to have a show that's not 18 plus, not 21 plus. You don't need a liquor license to run it, and all ages can go to it. I think that's kind of cool. But I go to those quite a bit, and coincidentally, not only do I happen to go to all ages shows where there's all ages present, including minors, coincidentally, I also happen to know some prostitutes. So this means that I'm some kind of creep or something. I don't know where the fuck the line is drawn, I don't know what the fuck the connection is, but it is an invalidation of my sexual orientation to ascribe sexual intent where none exists. I only am capable of platonic intent. I do not want to have sex with anyone. I am sick of being around people who have sex, and it is clear that this person who is making these unfounded accusations is a malicious actor who just is jealous of me or something, and my lack of interest in sex, because I legit do not give a shit about people having sex. I acknowledge the existence of sex, and I'm willing to analyze it as a phenomenon, as an asexual, which I'm perfectly within my right to do, the same way that a trans person is well within their right to analyze the structure of gender and deconstruct that from a third-party perspective. I do the same with sex. I look at sex as a complete outsider. I don't understand what the fuck sex is or why anyone has it. But regardless, it is an invalidation of my sexual orientation to accuse me of having anything approximating sexual intent when I literally cannot, physiologically or psychologically. I cannot experience sexual attraction. So this is very disheartening from the supposed LGBTQ participant here. It's very saddening to see that I guess you get to post all the trans memes you want, but if you post an asexual meme that brings up the mere existence of sex, or if you're friends with prostitutes, heaven forbid, all of a sudden you're disgusting and you're some kind of freak or something. I don't get it, because I literally don't have sex. I only express a lack of interest and an aversion to sex. So I don't understand how anyone could come to the conclusion that I'm like disturbed or something when it comes to sex. I don't care about sex. It is meaningless to me. This person who has made these accusations and is probably going to try to spread these stupid fucking rumors all around the industry now, which I don't really care about, because Denver has so little going on already that, like, it's not like, I'm exactly going to become a fucking millionaire out here singing my fucking asexual songs that are only meant to appeal to asexuals as a demographic. This person is in a romantic and sexual relationship, And I think everyone is just kind of jealous about how much their sex and romance dominates their lives and saps them of their will, and they're kind of jealous that I just get to be a hormone-free, open thinker who just does my own shit and doesn't care about having sex with anyone. I think that really bothers some people. And I'm sorry, but that's not an excuse to make unfounded accusations of pedophilia or transphobia, because that's fucking stupid. I don't negate someone's gender identity, so they don't get to negate my sexual orientation. I think that's fucked. I'd like to reiterate here that I am completely open about my lack of interest in sex. I consider sex a hobby. People can stop having it. I think people place way too much emphasis on it, and whenever I say, hey, sex is stupid, why don't you stop having sex and be my friend? The person I ask that to will be like, but it's not a big deal, Nick. Like, you can still be friends with us even though we're constantly engaging in this behavior you have no way of understanding that only serves to alienate you and drive you away from us. And I respond, if it's not such a big deal as you claim, then you can stop having it, because it's not a big deal. But then they're like, oh, but it is a big deal. It's not just a hobby, Nick. You call it a hobby. It's not just a hobby. Sex is life. Sex is everything. Sex is this universal constant, and it's everything, and it's the reason for living. And I'm like, okay, so it is a big deal. Is it a big deal or is it not a big deal? Because I don't think it's a big deal at all. And I'm perfectly willing to completely detach myself from all preconceived notions of sex, gender, whatever fucking artificial constructs we assign ourselves to. Here's what would actually be evidence that gender roles in society are decaying and breaking down, which would be a good thing, is if I can have a platonic intergender friendship with a really cool girl, and neither of us have sex, and neither of us are romantically attracted in anyone ever. That would be evidence that gender roles are actually breaking down. But if there's a trans couple where there's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and one of them is trans femme and one of them is trans masc, but they perpetuate the exact same gender stereotypes that went on back in the fucking 50s, I don't really think we're breaking down gender roles any here. Because ultimately, sex is the source of gender roles. It is the reason gender roles exist. If you stop having sex, if you detach yourself from the idea that your purpose on Earth is to have sex to reproduce, then gender roles fucking disappear. If you just consider yourself a person whose purpose is to create and think and be and exist in the moment, then you won't think about your gender roles anymore. They just won't be a thing. So if you want to deconstruct gender roles, I think attacking gender is a nice first step, but I think a good step too would be, hey, maybe consider just not giving a fuck about having sex or romance, because they really are just catalysts for mental illness where people will spread unfounded rumors of all the sorts of shit. They'll call me a rapist, anything. And it's just like, why the fuck do we even participate in this shit? Stop having sex already. There are so few examples I've seen here in Denver, and this is probably just a thing specific to Denver too. There's so few examples of a healthy, functional, romantic relationship I see. It's so fucking neurotic and petulant. Coincidentally, whenever someone tells me that I'm immature, or I'm stupid, or I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm mentally ill because I'm asexual, which, is acephobia, like textbook acephobia, they'll say, grow up. And I'll be like, well, grow up by transcending the need for sex. That's pretty fucking immature of you to have this fucking carnal behavior 24/7. I think that really speaks to like a lack of growth or like a lack of maturity. But the way these people see it, the only qualifier of maturity is just respect our sex, respect our romance, or have sex, have romance, learn what it's like. Like, if I can't learn what it's like, how am I expected to respect it? I think it's a joke. I am completely open and 100% honest. As much as any trans person talking about how gender roles are bullshit, I'm completely transparent and open and honest about sex and romance being bullshit. And I think they're fucking stupid. They just lead to mental illness, at least here. Fuck, maybe not in the rest of the country, but definitely here. I only see instability when sex or romance or sexual tension or romantic tension are introduced to any given scenario. So if you want to actually fight gender roles and fight like systemic patterns of categorization. If you don't want to be perceived just based on your gender, stop having sex. It's really that fucking easy. And I don't get who the fuck doesn't get this, but like, sex is a huge means of systemic control. And if you stop having sex, you'll probably become a much more well-rounded, sane, stable person. Just like me. I mean, make of that what you will, but I've literally been accused of being a rapist or a pedophile or a maniac or a neo-Nazi or a transphobe or a bigot or an SJW cuck or a radical leftist or a Marxist or whatever, yada yada, so fucking often that if I wasn't a romantic, if I wasn't asexual, if I wasn't this cold dead husk you see standing before you, I would have killed myself a long time ago. But I'm very mentally resilient, and this is far from my first rodeo dealing with asshats online who make unfounded accusations based on fucking nothing. You know, a lot of people tell me that I come off as kind of smug and kind of narcissistic and kind of morally superior to people, and I legitimately do believe that there's nothing wrong with claiming moral superiority in certain cases over certain people. And I think it's actually healthy to do so, to comparatively notice that you're ethically and morally superior, or inferior for that matter, to someone else. Like, for instance, am I morally superior to a pedophile, a rapist, a racist, a homophobe, a transphobe? Yeah, sure. I'm morally superior to all of those people. And I'm very much morally inferior, probably, to a lot of people also. But am I morally superior to some people? Fuck yes, and there's nothing embarrassing about admitting that. There are a lot of people whose morals are far worse than mine. And I have to admit, on a certain level, I am morally superior to this jackass who goes around making unfounded weird-ass accusations of pedophilia and completely negating my sexual orientation for no fucking reason. Because I would never do that. I would literally never attack someone or call them a pervert or something, or spread fake rumors about someone, because it's just fucked up. Like, I'm not going to do that. And yeah, I'm morally superior to those types of people, and I have no qualms about admitting that. I think ultimately the problem with Instagram is that, unlike YouTube, I've never really encountered this problem on YouTube, because people barely even comment here anymore. All the traffic seems to have gone over to Instagram. But hey, I'm still here on this dying platform, so, you know, I'm proud of myself. The problem with Instagram is that it literally just engenders mental illness, and if you try and be open or communicative or actually express yourself, like if you're asexual and you need to post an asexual meme to kind of feel yourself, feel something genuine, real, raw, you know, people will get really pissy about that. They'll get really fucking upset. So Instagram is just literally a catalyst for mental illness. It serves no purpose. Everything it can do with private messages, email just does better. So don't follow me on Instagram, please. And my Instagram account is probably going to be fucking banned or whatever in like 2 weeks after this fucking unhinged maniac reports me or whatever for non-existent things that don't happen. So yeah, I'm done using Instagram. It's literally just like a clown platform that is stupid. And I see no reason to keep being on a website that just actively hates my guts and wants me to go fucking crazy. It doesn't interest me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Instagram and this current fucking harassment shit that I have to deal with. It's very difficult being a public figure, admittedly, but I think I can handle it. I've been through a lot. I was through 2 years of constant, non-stop humiliation and harassment on Reddit because I was autistic, and I can weather through this storm on Instagram even if I'm autistic. You know, people will just shit on someone with autism. It's amazing. We truly do live in tolerant, progressive times, don't we? That's right. That's the ticket. Okay, that's been it for this video. Shazam, baby. Yow.